Okay.
Hello, everyone who's come along and is watching this back. This is a webinar, which is basically a photo show and chat about Morgan and Ashna and Joe's trip to India in February 2025. So I'll just share my screen and then you can see our photos. I hope it's not going to be like one of those everyone come and watch my holiday photos sort of thing.
It does seem that way.
It does a bit, doesn't it? Right. Okay. So
We should say that the trip was quite impromptu. We found out that Bharat Tex was happening in Delhi in February, which is a global fashion, textile, and sustainability expo. And we later found out that our work was displayed, which was really exciting. But yeah, it was a very last minute trip, wouldn't you say, Joe?
yeah, we
Morgan?
kind of booked it all in January, didn't we, really?
Yeah, it happened quite quickly. But I was
Um,
planning to visit anyway, so it all kind of tied in together quite
All
nicely.
came together.
Yeah.
So we've kind of split our photos because we didn't want to sort of bore you with loads and loads of photos. We split them into the places that we went. And obviously we'll show you and we can chat through, but please do feel free to chip in and say things. So the first stop for all three of us was Delhi, where we went to Bharat Tex, which is the massive conference that Ashna and Morgan are talking about. And we also did more as well apart from that. So do you want to talk, Ashna, or will I talk?
You can begin, Joe.
Oh, Swapmage has just arrived. I'll let him in. So this is Ashna and I at Bharat Tex on day one. So we're posing with one of the signs. There was two kind of locations that Bharat Tex was in. It was absolutely enormous. There was actually little buses. Several was there too. There was lots of little buses that you could get a lift in around the place as well. So you didn't have to walk, but still felt that we'd walked our feet off.
I think they estimated that there was 120,000 visitors, which is quite
Wow.
amazing.
Amazing, yeah. It's the
Definitely.
second year that it's been running as well, so it's still quite new.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there we are posing. This is the I think was it British Council run, Sevra? This the material reimagining material impact stand. I think it was. But
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button. It wasn't British Council run. It was run by Conserve India.
Okay.
But yeah, with input from the British Council.
Okay, thank you. So as I'm sure most of you know, excuse me, we were part of a British Council funded project last year, which was taking waste cotton fabric and repurposing that back into fabric again using traditional heritage khadi processes, spinning and weaving. On the top right of the picture here, you can see some of the samples that were outputs from our project. So we're really proud of those. So they were produced by Khamir using waste fibers that were shredded by Conserve India. And there's some other lovely things on the stand as well. And this is basically the team. So Ashna and myself and Shubham from Conserve India with Sevra from the British Council, stroking our fabrics lovingly.
This was the first time that Joe and I had seen the fabrics in real life as well. So we've obviously we saw the process photos, we saw final outcome displayed in the exhibition in Delhi as well, but it was the first time actually feeling the fabric, which was, yeah, really
very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
So the only organisation not in that photo really is the is Khamir, because they're based out in Gujarat, but they do Caviar did come later on. So that's the stand, and then a close-up of our beloved circular fabrics as well, which are lovely. You can see, I think that's the 100% recycled piece of cloth there.
It looks very thick. Is it suitable for what?
I think we've made different versions of it, Asha. So there's ones that are a bit thicker. There's ones that have got virgin cotton in as well. So we probably, how many did we come up with? It was 14 meters altogether, Ashna, wasn't it? But I can't remember if it was
six or seven different variations.
Yeah, 6 variations.
So the one that this one I believe is 100% recycled cotton in the warp and the weft, which was really tricky to do. because they had to adjust their spinning techniques to account for the fact that the staple length of the cotton got shorter when they shredded the cotton in the machine. So yeah, this would be most similar maybe to the completely petit chirka, so that completely hand spun fabric that Khamir also produce. And then the other variations that we did that were much easier to manage was the native virgin cotton in the warp, and then the 100% recycled in the weft. And then those variations were thinner, I would say, like, yeah, had less kind of density and weight.
But without going off on a circular cardi tangent, I mean, basically the next stage will be how do we use the different fabrics for different applications, but we'll do that on a different webinar, I think. And this is a sort of a different picture of the stand. So some of the other British Council funded projects are also there. So I put this one in because you can see this pair of knickers at the front that's just, you know, might catch the eye. But these are the ones from our friends at Project Pico, who, so this is using no plastic, no elastic at all. They've redesigned underwear to basically use 100% cotton, which is quite a big thing, really, quite an innovative solution. So we're dead proud of that. And that's us over in the corner there as well. And there they are closer up. And they were looking at different natural dyes they can dye the underwear with as well. So that was also exciting to see. There's us posing. You people who might remember Hamza Zaidi, he's next to Morgan. He came across to the UK for our Threads of Change festival, and he's a natural dyes expert. It looks like Shubham's fallen asleep in that one. Oh, this is people who know Patel from Ajrakh. So they're a social enterprise in Gujarat that I've known for years, Kishore's known for years as well, and lots of others of us. And they had a lovely big exhibition all about Khadi. You can see behind there's Khadi historic context. And we're showing off the Sanja Stories jeans there because Kavin's organization is providing the Khadi denim for those.
And he's a third generation in his family, right, to continue running the organization.
Yeah. And that's me with Hamza from the Natural Dyes, because we're going to be working with them on the natural dyes for the Sanja Stories jeans too. This is just to show you, this is a bit more from Kavin's area. There's some absolutely beautiful, I did take a video of this, but there's some beautiful exhibitions around recycling and circularity, but using the traditional side as well. So they had lovely demonstrations of people spinning, which you'd have loved, Asha. You really would have loved it. So it was really gorgeous. Unfortunately, the picture up here was Modi.
So is she spinning the recycled material?
No, that was just a demonstration using normal cotton.
Okay.
This is a lovely picture I took because they're using wool and cotton, I believe, and made a picture of Gandhi from it, which I thought was rather nice. And that was in that area as well.
Yeah, wonderful.
And a little bit of information, which you all know, of course, about Khadi, but it was nice. It was nice to see it all there.
Yeah.
There were lots of knowledge sessions as well. And this was a session where NIFT from India have signed an MOU with University of the Arts London, who obviously we work with on the recycled circular Khadi project as well. So second from the right is Sally Denton from University of the Arts London, and third from the right is Sudra Dinger, I think her name is, and she's the NIFT lady, the Dean of NIFT. So that was really exciting. There's going to be lots of co-working going on between those two organisations. And other knowledge sessions, we like this one. On the second from the right is Kavya Saxena from Khamir, who was speaking on this panel. And this session was all about clusters and decentralized working for the future of fashion. So something we're all very passionate about. So that was a great panel. Anything to add there, Ashna? Because I know you had some thoughts on that one.
Yeah, there was a fellow named oh no, I forgot his name actually, but he was from Avni, which is an organization in Uttarakhand in India, up north. I think some of you may be familiar with them. Kishorji, you've heard of Avni before, haven't you? Yeah, and they work with, again, their regional kind of ecosystem, like materials, the skills, the history of the area, and they work on a much more maybe holistic level than just focusing on craft. So they have solar, they work on like solar energy, I think water streams and things like that as well. And I think, yeah, Joe and I were a big fan. We tried to meet him after, but he had to rush off. But one of the interesting things he said was that we have to remember that life is like a hub of activity, so not focus solely on one thing. And I think through their efforts, they try and kind of exercise this in their model. So they're not focusing just on craft, but they have this more kind of holistic, perspective and efforts in what they're doing.
Yeah, he was lovely.
Yeah.
They were all good though on that panel. I remember they were great.
They were what? Yeah, they were really good. Is that Himanshu from 1111 as well? Second to
Yeah, that's the blurry guy.
Yeah, so I also went to visit his studio in his shop and his production unit in Delhi. And that was really fascinating because I think so he works a lot in Gujarat, and he has been working with Khamir for a long time as well. So he's really trying to kind of make contemporary color cotton. I think at the moment it has quite a distinct but regional design language, I would say, and he has quite an international brand. His co-founder, I believe, is in New York, so really trying to push forward kind of a new design language, a more international, perhaps, design language of native cotton. And it was really interesting to see the production unit actually, because it was he works very I guess, intimately with these craft communities, but then the production unit was quite large, and also the amount that they produce is quite big as well. So to see kind of craft being scaled up in this way was really interesting.
Oh, and Ashna and I got to go to a fashion show, which was all handmade, hand spun, hand woven cloth. And this photo, just to give you an image of how large the space was. And that's because Ashna and I were sponsored in our attendance at Bharat Tex by the Handloom Export Produce
Council.
something or the HEPC, and this was something that they put on, which was really, really good. Actually, it was really well done, and it was a massive auditorium space. You can see, and then there were sort of 7 or 8 models at any one time, and this is the red themed bit, but then it all of the outfits turned a different color. You know, it was really, really good.
Yeah, I wish we had close-ups of the outfits, because you would not think, I think Joe and I were both pretty amazed, because when we think of like khadi or handloom fabrics, I guess there's a very particular aesthetic that's maybe like simple, and this was very like avant-garde, very like
high fashion, I would say.
High fashion, definitely, exactly.
I took a few when the women were walking past, but they were moving quite fast, so it didn't really work. This gives you an idea of the space.
Her name was Vaishali, the name of the designer. I think she had collaborated with Bharat Tex, was it?
Not sure.
Yeah.
HEPC maybe.
Yeah, they were all her designs, which was amazing.
It was lovely. It was a good experience, that. Oh, this is one of the ones this is one of yours, Morgan, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I just took this to kind of like gauge how it felt. I mean, there were loads and loads of people selling things or kind of like promoting their work, or you could connect with new suppliers. So yeah, I just found this one quite interesting. Lots of block printed jackets and dresses. So,
and upcycle, which is interesting.
And upcycling, yeah.
Another one of yours.
Yeah. Again, it's just kind of getting a feel for the place. This had like an artisan kind of craft hub as well, so lots of people selling like paintings and garments and various things, which I really enjoyed. And it was just literally magical. It was kind of in the trees, and they had lots of paper garlands hanging down. So yeah, I enjoyed that space.
Looks very well.
Yeah.
Are these artisans earning enough to keep the family? fed, and can they compete with other business? Or is it still just on a small scale, personal base?
Very hard to know because I don't
Yeah,
think,
I'm not sure.
yeah, it wasn't really, I mean, this was very much a showcase. So I suppose they were supported in doing this. I believe that Bharat Tex, certainly last year anyway, they supported a lot of the artisans to be there because they're
Yeah,
showcasing globally.
I mean, it was in like a textile museum, and I'm not sure if that the people are always selling there or whether they were just selling there for the event. Yeah.
I think that the whole vibe of Bharat Tex was really interesting, I found, and the others who were there do chip in, but I felt it was a very much a commercial textiles expo. They were trying to sell textiles, but there was also this undercurrent of craft, recycling, sustainability, artisanal work, which was very special actually,
Yeah.
and not something you would see maybe in a different place.
I agree. Yeah, they put a lot of emphasis on that.
Mm.
Definitely. Yeah, and like very proud of the heritage and like telling
Yeah.
stories of artisans.
It didn't feel like an add-on either. It felt quite integral.
Yeah.
Certainly the bits I saw. But do disagree with me if you wish to. It wasn't all conferencing. We also had fun. Sever and the British Council kindly took us out to dinner on several occasions, which was lovely. So this is the Circular Cardi team about to go out to dinner, and this is the foyer of our hotel. So I think there's Caviar's in the middle from Khamir because she'd come from Kattcch at that point, and then there's Shubham from Conserve India and Sally from FTTI and us.
You all look so happy.
Yeah, we were, and we hadn't even had
Nice.
anything to drink at that point.
This was post dinner, I think, Joe.
Oh, was it? So maybe we had. Actually, no, that was really nice. You can't quite see, but there's a big, huge, massive elephant behind us in the reception. And that's a different dinner. So this is the Desayun dinner. So we've got Rahul on the left, and then the rest of the same people as well. And that was a lovely restaurant in what was that called? Town Hall, wasn't it?
Mhm.
That was really nice evening. And then I had an exciting privilege. So a very close friend of mine, his cousin, is Sunita Narayan, who is a well-known Indian environmental campaigner, and she heads up the Centre for Science and Sustainability in Delhi. So she took me to lunch. Pardon?
Science and Environment.
Science and Environment. I knew it was something like that. Science and Environment. Yeah. So she heads that up. And while I was having lunch with her, Ashna and Morgan went to the India Habitat Centre, and then it turned out that that's where Sunita's office was anyway. So that was quite good. She was a lovely person.
Yeah, we liked the Habitat Centre. It was very calm.
Yeah,
it was a place to kind of rest. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't put in images of the
I did it at the end. I
balcony.
got one at the end. I just realized I got the order wrong. I was just going to go back to Bharat Tex briefly and say that as well as meeting people we already knew, we met some really interesting new people. So this is us with a lovely lady from the UN who we've stayed in touch with. So that's great. And we also met people from the British Wool Board. Oh, this is Anita from Conserve India because she didn't make the dinner. So we had breakfast with her. So that was nice. Oh, and on the last day in Delhi, we kind of had everybody come and let's have lots of chats, and Sever paid for our lunch, which was nice. Thank you, Sever. And we've got people from the Centre for Pastoralism, and we've got Molshri, who some of you will know, who was in London as part of Cardi London and now lives in Delhi as well. Who have I missed? And there's nobody I've missed, is there?
Brigu, yeah, Brigu does work with CFP kind of, but they have their own organization called Corby Wims, which again some of you may know. So that's an organization up north as well in Kulu Manali, where Kishore has spent a lot of his time as well when he was working on the ground. And yeah, they work with reviving the local wool landscape in the area. So yeah, over time, I won't again I'll be very brief, but over time the community used to use wool for their own sustenance, so for blankets and things because of the climate there. And then over time it shifted to synthetics. And still though they retain this really beautiful like regional design language that they have, and they have these quite graphic motifs that they'll have on their native caps and scarves and socks and things. So that has managed to be retained, and what Kulvi Whims are doing are kind of keeping that essence of the cultural design language, the regional design language, but you reintegrating local wool, the native wool from the area, and incorporating natural dye, hand spinning, hand weaving, and things like that. So a really interesting project.
I think the whole wool thing is interesting, and Rahul, who you'll see between Ashna and Sevra there, he, as well as being Centre for Pastoralism like Rigu, they're kind of, that's like almost an umbrella thing, isn't it? Because he runs Mayar Mufflers as well, and then there's Santosh, who runs the Earth and Tune shoes. So I think they have their own local area native wool projects and businesses, and then the Centre for Pastoralism kind of umbrellas it, if that makes sense. So that's all quite exciting. Ashna knows loads about Kulvi Whims because she spent ages there.
Yeah, and Brigu's wife, who also joined Akancha on the far right. It was really lovely to reunite because basically they looked after me for the whole time I was there. And I learned lots of cooking from her as well, how to make chai as well. And their son came, so he was he must have been 2 or 3 when I was there, and he had grown up so much. So yeah, really nice to reunite with them and see them again.
I love that
it was
picture.
a really good day actually. I felt special. It sort of rounded off our Delhi experience.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Saw loads of people. I love the way the little boy's clinging onto
Clinging
his dad's
to his leg.
Obviously, you were talking about the Habitat Centre. So Ashna and Morgan went there for lunch when I was with Sunita, and then I joined them. And there was a basket weaving exhibition. I think Sevra, you went to that as well, didn't you? And it was lots of lovely things going on there, and there was book fair and all sorts of things. But we posed in this rocking chair amongst the flowers.
It's a good photo.
Yeah. And then it was time for us to leave Delhi. So we went to the station, not the big station, which had a terrible disaster the day before, actually, hadn't it? So I was quite glad we weren't going to the main station. There was a massive crush there the day before.
That was I think in Delhi, wasn't it, Joe?
This is Delhi, isn't it?
That's Delhi. Oh, it is Delhi. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going from Delhi
leaving
to
Delhi.
Jaipur.
Yeah.
16:24. And that's us on the train to Jaipur, which was a nice, it was about 4.5 hours or something to Jaipur.
Yeah.
So nice. And we got there at 10 o'clock in the evening.
I just noticed the man in the back is also posing for the photo.
Everybody, he's got to be part of things. Want to be part of our gang. So this was kind of the parting of the ways. This is our last day, the 3 of us together. Ashna and I had booked into a cheapo hotel on booking.com, and Morgan was in some plush, lovely hotel that her dad booked for her. And we, Ashna and I woke up and went up to have our breakfast in our hotel, and then we thought of Morgan in her lovely hotel, so we got a taxi over to her and treated ourselves to a nice breakfast with her. So this is at the top of Morgan's hotel, which is infinitely nicer than our hotel was.
You were there for a day though, so
we were there for one day.
I was there for 10 days.
Exactly. So the first port of call in Jaipur was to visit our friends Abhishek and team at Mishika Crafts in Jaipur, and we'd obviously worked with them a lot over the years, all of us in different capacities. This is Guruji Kishore on the left, who's working with us on the Sanjas, and can't remember the other guy's name.
His name is also Krishnakant.
Yeah, not Krishnakant. It's Krishna. It's slightly different from Krishnakant.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've
their new stitching unit, so I think it's sort of recently come into fruition.
I'm a baby.
Sorry?
I'm a baby of that fellow.
Oh, are you? Okay. Okay, you're his baby. He's lovely. I think it was Krishna Knat or something. I remember thinking it was very like Krishna Kant, but not quite Krishna Kant. So he's the pattern manager, and then the other guy is the tailor, and then obviously Abhishek. And they've got another room, that door at the back, they've got another room through there as well, where they've got a lot of machinery around pattern making and computers and things like that. So it's a lovely building, this new stitching unit. I think he had something upstairs there too, didn't he? It's quite a lot.
I've got a photo of it later on. So there's more like sewing machines and another setup upstairs.
Yeah.
As well.
So this is where Sanja Stories is going to be made for anybody interested in that.
And for
Or they
those
are being made.
not Jaipur, it's in Sanganer.
It's in Sanganer, yeah.
Okay, that's Jaipur as far as I'm concerned, but I know what you're saying. It's a,
Sanganer is very well known.
yes, it was a bit of a journey, that's true.
Is that his only stitching unit, Morgan? Or does he have another one?
I think he works with various different people, but I think this is something that he set up himself. Like
Okay,
he has more ownership over.
got it. Okay.
He used to work with the ladies' charity, the leprosy ladies' charity, wasn't it, that he was working with on the stitching years
Also,
ago?
Gram Bharti Samiti.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Grand Party Samiti.
This is me looking happy with some blocks.
Yeah, you got Morgan got very happy because that's the block that you designed during your degree, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not. It's similar, but it's not.
Oh, I thought it was the same one.
No, it's not. I think it's inspired by my block.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that was your
Which is
actual
fine.
block. Oh, I'm going to delete that photo now. I thought that was your block. I'm joking. Yeah, so you looked excited anyway. It's me talking to Guruji about Sanja Stories. And if anyone likes my jacket, that was new. That's a indigo khadi organic jacket from Shalini Shetha Min's business, Moral Fibre Fabrics.
You also got a new one, didn't you, from
And I bought one from Abhishek as well when I
Yeah,
was
we didn't
there.
get a photo of that.
No, I didn't. It's
It's really good.
a proper quilted block print jacket. I wanted one of those for a while.
Yeah.
And here's Ashna talking to Abhishek about her work.
Mhm.
We got invited back to Abhishek's home,
Mhm.
and he gave us some refreshments. His lovely wife Sonal here as well.
Mhm.
That's showing off the Sanja Stories poster that Abhishek had got made specially for the occasion. From
Yeah,
the
and
photo,
yeah, there you go.
yeah, because that was they're the photos from the launch event that only happened the week before. So he was really pleased to have got that made so quickly. Why did you put a picture of a bush in, Morgan?
I was showing off Nilla House. I wanted to kind of like
Tulsi.
it looks a bit random
Is
here.
it Dulcie? How do you know? How can you recognize it,
Tulsi.
Ashley?
Huh?
How can you recognize that?
Ashna, is this Tulsi or what?
I don't know.
Looks like
Sounds
bonsai
like
to me.
you.
What is that?
Looks like bonsai to me.
Oh, bonsai.
But we basically finished off at Nilla House, so this is
Yeah.
where we parted ways.
What?
It's just this really
Photo of a
beautiful
bush.
place. It's an NGO. This is like they've got dyeing vats outside, and they run like various different
I didn't
workshops,
see
and
that
they
part.
It's an
promote like
NGO owned,
Indian artisanal crafts here. So you could
it's
do
an NGO
workshops,
owned by,
buy clothes. Yeah, it
it's
was
owned
set
by
in
billionaire.
2016. So
More from Neela
I
House.
thought you'd like that room, Asha.
So many different types of church.
It was a beautiful place, wasn't it? Really beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they can afford it. It's owned by a billionaire from UK.
Owned by who?
Yeah, set up by
Lady from
an
UK,
Englishman.
Lady Bampton.
Yes, Lady Bambridge, is it?
Cambridge.
Yeah. Yeah, Ashna and I had a meeting with a lady there about how we could potentially link Cardi London and Neela House a bit more, which was a very good meeting. So that was useful. And here we are posing in front of their gorgeous textiles that they had there. Yeah. Oh, and then this is when we hugged goodbye. Morgan went her way and we went ours. And Ashna and I had an overnight train from Jaipur to Bhuj. And this is just the inside of the train from anyone who hasn't travelled on one.
And that
before.
was 16 hours?
16 and a half hours or
Yeah.
something, wasn't it?
Impressive.
Yeah.
I was on an upper bunk, but Ashna chickened out and went. She was supposed to be on an upper bunk, but she moved down to a lower bunk because somebody didn't
It
come.
was free. You gotta take it.
So I had to swing myself about on these bars. It was surprisingly comfortable, and everyone was really friendly. You know, we kind of made friends with a family group, and there was people walking up and down the whole time trying to sell tea and all of that kind of thing. Carry on.
Did you have Thepla in train?
No, we
not
didn't have.
no.
Although, we didn't have a
Yes,
photo of it. Joe loved their
later we had that. I am that's one of my new favorite things. No, well, the shocking and slightly embarrassing thing was because we were so busy that day. We had the meal in the morning at Morgan's lovely hotel, and then we had the snacks with Abhishek and Sonal. But we got to the train station. Ashna and I were quite hungry, and we hadn't had anything to eat. And obviously, you can't buy food on the train. So go on, tell them what we did, Ashna.
Yeah, it's really cool actually. I didn't know you could do this, but you can order food to your train carriage. So right before it's about to leave the train, like we ordered on an app, like delivery basically. So we ordered pizza, and then just maybe a few minutes before the train was about to leave the station, a guy called me and he was like, "Where are you? I've got your food." So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I saw on the app that you can also, so wherever the train stops, you can also order your food to the stops as well. So that was just, yeah, pretty cool. Like,
that was good.
Never heard of this.
I know, I think
No.
it's
Impressive India.
Yeah, it was very good because we were hungry, and
anything is possible.
yeah, there's a lovely photograph of eating pizza very quickly, but I didn't put that in. So the next morning we arrived at Bhuj, and it was really exciting actually, because looking out of the window, so we had here we are, we had masala chai, of course, on the train. But the chap in the same carriage as us, he told us we shouldn't drink it because it had been sitting around for 2 hours. But
He said the
I didn't
platform
mind.
tea is better, so we know
Yeah.
that for next time.
I wouldn't dare get off the train. If I'd have got off the train, I'd be so scared the train would go without me. So I was staying on the train for sure. But it was perfectly fine. As masala tea is delicious. Yeah, so that was us sitting on the train the next morning. And it was quite interesting to see the landscape as well, how dry it was. You know, it was really the different. I mean, you guys know it well, a lot of you, but it was really different landscape when we woke up. And I put this in because I screenshotted on my phone because I was quite excited to see where I actually was. And we'd stayed. Ashna had booked a gorgeous Airbnb for us with a family, and in the middle of their courtyard was this neem tree. So that the courtyard was kind of open to the air, and all of the rooms were around the outside of it. And we thought of Kishore because Kishore's was talking about how he grew up with his neem tree in the yard. So we're posing with the neem tree, and that's our hosts there, who we called Uncle and Auntie. But they have a son in London and another one in Berlin. Who are lovely people, and she made the most amazing tepla, Krishnakan.
All of her
Amazing,
food was so good.
really good. Yeah,
Really
but
good.
the tepla was the best, definitely.
The chutney.
And the chutney, oh my god, it's so good. So the first port of call, which had to be to Khamir. So we've worked with Khamir over many projects and times, and obviously on the most recent Circular Khadi project. So it was really nice to go there and hang out a bit and meet everybody. Ashna knew them all because she'd spent lots of time there before. So Kavya, who came to Delhi, is there, and Dilshit and the other guy. I always get his name wrong. Dilprit.
Dipesh.
Oh yeah, Paresh on the end. But
Paresh and Dipesh is
Dipesh. Oh, why do I?
Correct.
Who is? Oh, Dilprit was the driver, wasn't he?
Maybe, I don't know.
Too many names. So
Lots
yeah,
Yeah.
that's there. Just some nice snaps from around the compound. Have you been there, Asha?
No, I haven't.
She's so jealous.
I haven't been to Bhuj since what, 98? I've been so unlucky, really.
Oh no, you're coming with us next time, definitely. That was lovely. So there's a whole area on Bezium wool. Oh, here we are with Aziz, who some of you will know we've worked with. I loved his shirt. It was kind of like a
Yep.
shirt made out of different patches of fabric, which is lovely. And there was people, lots of practitioners, weaving, spinning, lots of things going on everywhere. It was lovely. Meetings, communities of people.
Kimji Bai. So he's
Oh,
one
yes.
of the weavers that's always at the Khamir campus, and I think he does most of the sampling. So when designers or anybody comes and they want to get some meters of samples done, he will carry that out for them.
I had a really confused conversation with him. I'm laughing because we introduced ourselves to each other. He said Kimji, and I thought he was saying Kim, and then G, like sometimes with Hindi you put G on the end. And so I was like, oh, it's Kim. And then Ashna came over and said Kimji Bai, and I was like, no, this is Kim. I was really confused. Anyway. And then Ashna and I having our lunch, which is in lovely open space. You just get your tray,
Delicious lunch.
delicious lunch. You go along and you get a spoonful of lots of different things. And in the background, you can't see it in this picture, but there was just a sort of cow roaming around, probably trying to nick some of our lunch, which was quite nice. It's a lovely area. Oh, and this doesn't look exciting to most of you, but this, even several, I'm sure you'll get excited by this. This is the shredded fibre. This is the circular Khadi fibre.
I didn't know that they had that. Wait, did they have some of that?
Yeah, I brought some back with me for Asha.
Oh yeah, I remember you did. Yeah. Yeah.
I
It
will
looks like
really,
cotton.
yeah,
It does look like
Khadi.
cotton. It
I'll
does
have
look like
a
cotton.
point on it though.
It is a shorter staple,
Mm.
slightly shorter, but we're not sure if that's because they may have over shredded it. When we have more control over the shredding process, we can maybe do something about that. But yes, that was really exciting to see that, and I took a wodge of it. And this is my hero. This is us getting Bimal's giving us he basically said to me, come on, Joe, I'll show you how I turn that into yarn. And he just sat down on the floor and spun that shredded fibre into yarn in front of my very eyes.
In front of your very eyes. He's incredible though. So I went on quite a few field trips with him where he would visit the ladies in the villages. I can't remember how many villages that Khamir works with, maybe like 140 or something around Kutch. And so he would just go to a village, go to a group of women, and they would come to him and say, oh, something's wrong with my choker, it's not doing this or this. He'll take a look at it and it'll be fixed within like 1 or 2 minutes. He knows exactly what to do. So yeah,
He was
a
amazing.
real expert.
I said to him when he was spinning, I just sat and watched him. You found me, didn't you? I was just sitting there watching him, mesmerized, and he came. I said to him, "What does it feel like? What do you think about when you're doing it?" And he said, "It's like doing yoga."
Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe, was it you also that was telling me the kind of gender dynamics of the villages, of the women? I can't remember who it was. Someone was telling
I can't
me
remember. Yeah.
that in some of the villages, the men aren't comfortable with or don't want the women to be meeting with men.
Oh,
from the
that's
outside.
the yeah, no, that's the lady. What's that? There's a particular group of women, Asha may know, but we found them with Where Does It Come From on a couple of the projects, that the men don't want the women to meet other men at all. So they want them to, they're given the fibre to spin, and then they have to go inside the houses and spin it. But the men wanted to take the spun yarn back to the cooperative. But I know from Ajrakh Bharti, they wouldn't allow that. So the women had to bring back the yarn and get paid
But
for it.
someone was saying in this case that Bimal Bai is kind
Yeah.
of one of the accepted men that is allowed to kind of interact with the women and visit them. So yeah,
That's right. I think Aziz was telling us that, because we were I can't remember the name of I do know the name of the women, the tribe that won't allow their women. I've got it written down somewhere.
not Rabari, is it?
No, it wasn't the Rubaris.
Not Rabari, no. The Rabaris are quite forward, but
yeah, no, it wasn't. I've got it in one of the Where Does It Come From stories. It begins with a D. It was quite surprising to me that when we were researching the stories for Where Does It Come From, that is a regular occurrence in some of those places. But I think some of the Khadi organizations are trying to empower women a bit more by making sure that the money goes into their hand.
Does he always spin on a petty chaka like this, or does he spin on other ones?
I think he's able to do. I've seen him spin on 3 different ones. So a Kishran churka, a petty churka, and then also the traditional big wheel kind of churkas.
He's just my hero.
Joe,
yeah.
Joe, I would like to share here something. You know, my maternal grandfather, he used to work to remove untouchability. So they took these charkhas and also wool spinning and weaving. And some untouchable weavers, they produce such a wonderful quality of, what do we call dhaba? Blankets. Yeah. And they made some innovations and they did wonderful work. So they were invited to exhibitions in Delhi, and I'm talking about 60s and 70s. And they used to win awards. And that family was very close to my maternal grandparents' family. So much so that I used to think that I've got so many granddads because they were so loving and looking after us. So that art has been thriving in Kutch for many decades, I would say many centuries, because we are closely linked to Pakistan and Afghanistan's carpet weaving, blankets, hand spinning and weaving. So I'm
Wonderful.
quite familiar with it.
Wonderful. Kutch was fantastic for the crafts side. It was just amazing. And here's a good example of it. So this chap who Ashna had met before, I believe, hadn't you, Ashna? He was the last ever Bella block printer. Is that right? And he was showing us his beautiful blocks, and they're nature inspired, most of them there. But the guy in the middle is his son, and he's now agreed to teach him, so he won't be the last ever Bella block printer.
Yeah.
Great.
Beautiful.
I like the way he's got an Adidas t-shirt on. I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, I just noticed.
What an irony.
So this is not this is moving away from Khamir now. We spent the second day of our visit looking into other local crafts. So this is Ajrakh printing, which was so beautiful. I spent a few hours there just watching this guy making this gorgeous printing piece, and the colors were so vivid. It's just beautiful. I've got a, yeah, we are. So the guy who started up that studio, Ishmael Katri,
yeah,
I can't say, you know, I'm terrible. Katri. So he started off this studio, but he's obviously really well known, and he's got an honorary degree from British University. And the story is that people were coming to ask him how it was done. He didn't speak English, so he taught himself English to be able to tell the story of Ajrakh printing. And then he was being brought all over the world to teach at university, so he got an honorary degree. But now when you go in there, we were very lucky because we didn't have an appointment, and so he was there and he saw us, and we told him about Cardi London and what we do and everything. He's actually made a video now, so that rather than having to repeat it over and over and over again, you can sit down.
Yeah, I quite like just his like brutal honesty. He was like, we get so many visitors. Sometimes I'm not in the mood. So I just made a film. I love the honesty, honestly. Like, because I see how much graft, I think we can all see how much graft like these communities have to really like push themselves forward, sell themselves and show what they're doing all the time, like always be available for tours and talks and things. So I quite appreciated it. I thought it was really refreshing, and it was just like, I'm bothered sometimes. I'm not in the mood. I'm tired. So watch the video.
But it was also good because I checked afterwards, that video is on YouTube, and I was thinking, well, actually, I wouldn't mind going back to watch it again, because I think it's one of those videos you could learn more from watching it again and again.
It's such a long process.
Pass it to us, Joe. Pass that video to us, please.
I will. I'll find it and I'll pass it through.
Also, one more point to note, that way before India and Pakistan were separated, Pakistan was carved out of India. In Kutch and Rajasthan, there were so many Muslim people, huge Muslim community used to live. And they did wonderful crafts, not just textile, but gold, silver, sculptures. And that's part of the reason why people in Kutch are born and brought up in such a beautiful community harmony. And maybe I'm willing to say that I have inherited that virtue. We never used to think which caste or religion other person is belonging to. It was such a wonderful mixture of sharing festival, food, looking after each other. most of the midwives were from Muslim community. So we were all born in the hands of those midwives. So for us, it was so natural to be part of one society.
It did really feel like a real blended place
Yep.
to be, like even in the streets, you know, the main street of Bhuj and those kind of places. And I remember when we came away from this and we were talking to Aziz, and I said, "Oh, Aziz is Kattcch, is that relation of yours?" And he said, "Yeah, we're all related. The Kattcchs around here, you know." So it was all really nice community feel. So here are some more details if anyone wants to find out more about Ajrakh. That's who he is.
The art, Montfort University.
Yeah. He's very proud of his honorary degree.
Of course.
And so was Ashna
So
taking a picture
beautiful.
of him. It was gorgeous. It was lovely. And then it goes and gets dried out in the sun. And then Ishmael has sons now that are starting to take on more and more of the work of the studio as well.
It's all natural dyes as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
red,
They
black.
I think they have several different I'll have to send the video because I can't remember the detail of it, but there's some really intricate processes in the dyeing.
Yeah.
I think it's called alizarin, red, and then indigo. Alizarin is a calcium binding dye. Not
Are you
sure if
looking that up or did you know that?
No, I'm looking it up. No, I just knew that.
So clever. Oh, there's look, just some of the blocks that were there along the wall.
Amazing.
Really beautiful. Yeah, you be in heaven, Morgan. Another thing we did I knew you'd like this, Asha. We went to the LLDC. I can't remember what it stands for, Ashna. Can you?
Living Lightly Design Museum.
Yeah, so it's a design museum in Bhuj, quite new.
Sorry, I think that's actually wrong. 1 second.
LLDC.
Living and Learning Design Centre.
Okay.
Yeah, so is it at Bujodi?
It's close by. It's close by.
Yeah. It was kind of on a main road. It wasn't very close to anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's near Ajrakh. Yeah, it's
near Bhuj.
quite centre. Yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't walk there. You'd have to drive.
I'll put it in the
Lakshmi Park, I think. Yeah.
No, it's not that one.
Okay, another one.
It's very new. It's very new. But it was lovely. And
I don't think it's new, Joe.
it was quite new. Well, I thought it was. Anyway, we'll have to check up on some of our facts here. I thought it was quite a new one.
2016. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so newish. But they had examples, and going back to what you were saying, Ashna, about the blended society.
Yep.
One story our driver actually came in with us and was talking to us about this. Is a local man, and he was talking to us about some of these things. And I really like the way he was pointing to the various traditional dresses. And this is just a couple of pictures to show you the kind of thing that was there. And he'd say, that's Rubari, that's whatever, and that's Muslim, you know. And he just was really, it was all everything was blended together, just traditions, but very respected.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It was very nice. So this is just to show you lovely bright colors, some mirror work, lovely embroidery. The embroidery, these are all the different examples of local embroidery.
I'm willing to part my knowledge of mirror work, because I can do mirror stitching, mirror work.
You've got the job.
People wants to learn.
Got the job.
Thank you for your interview.
If anyone wants to learn, it's worth.
I would love to, Asha.
Yeah,
I have lots to learn from you.
It's not difficult. You can learn it in half an hour. Like spinning.
She thought probably it will take 7 days.
Oh, another visit that we made was to Shamji in his studio, which was quite interesting. So was that in Bujodi?
Yes, this was. Yeah.
So we pulled up in our car with our driver, and then we went into the compound where Shamji. I thought we must be in the wrong place. There's cows roaming around all over the place and everything. And then you go into there. There's this beautiful studio that you can see here. The other thing that I take from this photograph is look at everyone else's knees. I can't get my knees apart any wider than that. So I was talking to people about this, and apparently in India, people sit cross-legged on the ground, you know, from young, and they sit cross-legged. In the UK, we're encouraged to sit at chairs and tables from a very young age. So I'm now, one of my missions is to get my knees to go flat like that.
So you can talk about yoga, but not able to do it.
Well, I do yoga, but obviously not to the point where I can get my knees flat yet. Yet that picture shows my inflexibility all too clearly. And Asha will recognize this.
Yes.
So this is Bouge by evening. We spent quite a few evenings there, didn't we, Ashna? It was lovely. Get run over by mopeds or cows or something. There was a beautiful rooftop bar cafe thing that we sat in. It was lovely. Yeah, just a really atmospheric place.
Mm.
That's a blurry. It's gone blurry. This is not the best of the photos, but do you recognize that guy on the left, Asha?
Well, yeah.
So we went to visit Asha's nephew,
No, my uncle. My
uncle,
maternal uncle.
Asha's uncle, and there is a very strong resemblance.
There is. Yeah,
There is.
there is.
And he's her uncle, who is actually younger than she is.
Yeah, 1 year younger than me.
I think you're more like brother and sister, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was lovely to see them.
It is worth noting that I took spinning from my grandfather, and he didn't.
Yeah, he said that. He said that him and
You were the good child.
no, he said he was the younger siblings were allowed to get away with not learning it, he said.
Yeah, but I was only
1 year younger.
only 1 year older. But
Yeah.
when I was a girl, I wanted to get everything my parents and grandparents did. But it was such a pleasure to learn from them.
Was it only your grandfather that was spinning, Ashaji?
No, my whole maternal family. My mom tells me that during their school holidays, they used to spin so much for that yarn was enough for the whole year. And they used to have cupboards full of.
Wow.
So it was, and even when I was growing up, where I used to live, every evening we would sing the prayers and just spin for half an hour, and the yarn was enough for us.
So with that yarn then, did you have weavers in your family who would turn that into fabric?
Well, we would give it to the weavers, and they would give us the fabric in return.
And then you take that fabric to a tailor to be made into clothes?
Yeah, and stitch, yeah.
Okay, and it would just be plain, like no dyed, not dyed.
We could choose, like when I was growing up, for frock or skirt, printed, Ajrakh print, block print, whatever that would give us. So
interesting.
That was something. It was, how do I say it? In my veins, I would say. Yeah. So that was a pleasure. And we knew why this is being done. That's more important. Not just as a labor, but there was such a big mission behind it.
Joe, I'm just aware of time. It's 5 to 3. Should we?
Yeah,
because Morgan
I'll move
has
forward.
to, yeah.
The last day, I look really tired because it was about 6 o'clock in the morning. We went out to I forgot the name of the place. Edessa, which was about 2.5 to 3 hours away from Bouge to visit the cotton harvest. And on the way, our driver pulled over and said, "You have to go here because it's the best masala chai in
It's
Kutch."
buffalo milk.
Buffalo milk chai, and they were making it. You can't quite see it, but it's open fires. They were throwing the milk around and everything, and it was amazing. And it came in a little cup, and then we were told by Bimal not to drink it out of the cup because that kind of had more of a plasticky taste, but to drink it out of the saucer, and it was pretty amazing. So Edessa, this is the far. Do you know where that is, Asha?
No.
It was a fair way away. But it's a farming community, and then this organization is a NGO that's supporting the farmers with marketing, organic standards, other standards, sort of helping them to sell what they're doing and more of a community. And there was also a workshop we got pulled into where a lot of the young girls were being taught tailoring skills and other skills as well. So it was quite a nice area. And this is the cotton growing in the field. So this is Kala cotton. So this is completely rain fed, no artificial pesticides, and growing in the desert. So a miracle.
Yeah.
An absolute miracle. These lovely ladies were harvesting it, and you can I put this picture in so you can see the yellow flowers. For some reason I thought cotton had pink flowers, so that was a shock to start with. So yellow flowers as far as the eye can see, very, very dry ground, and yet the cotton is growing there. There's the two farmers that we were talking to, and that lady there on the right's got the traditional rubari dress as well.
Yeah.
The colours that they wear to go to work, you know, it's quite interesting. They're bright colours. And that's
Love this photo.
Wonderful.
So good.
really nice. It was so hot. You can't tell that it was 30 something degrees, and I have a very narrow operating threshold. So it was really hot, but it was amazing. It was one of those never forget moments, I think.
Mm.
And that's us with these are the guys that was Bimal and all the guys from the cooperative there.
It's amazing.
Hardworking people.
And now I'm going to hand over to Morgan to talk about the last part of her trip. Tell me when to pick slides, Morgan.
Okay, yeah. So this is me with Sonal and Abhishek, who are the founders of Mishka Crafts, and I've been working with them since I was a student. And yeah, we spent a lot of time together this trip, which was really lovely. So this particular day we went to Sanganer, and yeah, you can move the slide if you want. Yeah, and just went and saw some like block printing hubs, which was really special. So yeah, I just like this photo. I like how big that block is. And there's like some sort of like samples on the right. And again, just sort of rediscovering how the blocks are made, and sort of I like the artisan sort of had this really large sketchbook of lots of drawings that he had put together, which I thought was quite fascinating as well. So yeah, this is all in Sanganer. And then this is a lady who stitched one of some of my quilts, my latest collection. So I was able to meet her. So she works for Abhishek, and that was really special. Spent quite a long time, and she sort of was like teaching me different stitching techniques as well. And yeah, she stitches from her home. And this is in Bagru. It's a different day. So there's this company called Studio Bagru, which is quite established. They do like lots of workshops and stuff, and they've been featured in like Forbes and yeah, like quite big magazines. And I've been in contact with the studio director, Monica, for like I guess over the past sort of year, and I really wanted to meet her going back to India. So I went to go and check out one of the workshops, and then I printed this scarf. And
beautiful, Morgan. That is absolutely stunning, isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah. And it's really interesting to see kind of how they operate it and how it is so successful. I mean, they're completely booked out, you know, like people from all across the world are coming and doing like 3, 2, 4 day workshops and spending a long time there in the village. So yeah, that was a great day.
What is the reason why people are so interested in this old art craft?
I don't know, Asha, but there seems to be a bit of a buzz about it at the moment, especially Jaipur and especially Bagru. Like I said, it has been featured in like Vogue and all these different like magazines, so maybe that's why. But yeah, so these people were from Malta, and they were there for on a 4-day course with Studio Bagru. And there was another lady from America, and it was her 3rd time coming to Studio Bagru and doing a workshop. So just seems to fascinate people. But these are on the left it's pigment printing, and then on the right it's dabu printing. So using like the mud and lime resist, which is an older method of printing.
Pigment printing? What is it?
And then they had a shop as well, which I thought was quite a nice idea. So they do the workshops, but then they also do like work with clients and do like big orders. And yeah, and they have this shop. So
it's very intricate, isn't it? It's all very intricate.
Yeah, and this is directly outside where their printing studio was. So this is like quite a large area in Bagru where people will come together and like dry their fabric, basically. And then this is a family that I stayed with in 2022. I stayed in their house for a couple of weeks, so I got to see them. That was really amazing, and spent some time with them, and we went and got some food. So yeah, it wasn't long enough. It was only one day, but yeah. And then so Abhishek's also set up a new printing studio as well, so I was able to see that, and it 5 people print and work there. So he was very proud to kind of show that off, and I had a look around. So that was cool. And everyone had gone home apart from one of the artisans. So I was able to spend like quite a lot of time with him. We did a workshop together. So yeah, a special day. So that's him there. He's a master artisan, so he kind of oversees the whole unit and the other printers as well. And he's got expertise. He's been dyeing for over 10 years. So yeah,
Oh, look at that.
that's one of my new designs, which I was able to kind of test out and practice printing with this time round, which was really cool.
Very nice.
Lovely.
That's my mum. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I went with my mum as well, so that's
Right.
her printing. She took to it straight away. She was really good at it. Abhishek was impressed. Yeah. And then they also had 2 like giant indigo vats as well outside, and they're 13 feet deep, which I
Gosh.
love. So
Morgan,
yeah.
you know the paste they use or the color that they use for the printing?
Yes.
It's not always, I know that it's not always completely natural
No,
pigment.
it's like they say it's an azo-free dye. So
Okay.
it's not got like lots of harsh chemicals in it, but it's not a natural
So they
printing.
just make it into a paste rather than like a dye bath. So the consistency is different, and that's how they're able to print. Almost like
Yeah.
paint. Is it like paint, the consistency?
Yeah, it's just kind of like a thick ink, I guess, or yeah, like a paint. So this indigo would be used more for like dabby printing if you want to like soak the fabric in it. But yeah, with the more kind of like modern printing, it tends to be like the non-natural dyes. This is his shop as well, his showroom again, which is all new. So that was quite cool. We spent a lot of time there, actually, the 3 of us. So it kind of shows like lots of different samples and of clothes and textile items of different people that he's been working with. So
That's where I bought my jacket.
yeah. And then this is the upstairs part of the studio, guys, that you didn't see. So there's about like 6 other stitching units up there as well. And then this man is also called Abhishek, and he also is like one of the managers that works with Mishka Crafts.
I like those flower pots with the Indian flag on.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool photo. And then this is Sonal and then her mum, and she's like an activist, and she is a social worker, and she kind of like set up this NGO, and it's a society for rural development. So like a lot of the work that they do is kind of linked to her and like the initiatives that she runs. So yeah, they do like a lot of livelihood projects. They work with like women's self-help groups and also like agriculture projects as well. So yeah, and their office is based in Amir. So, and I spent a lot of time there when I was in India last time, and then I revisited this time as well, and we had like a really nice meal, and it was a very sort of special moment to reconnect. But another man who's works for her, he's a social worker, and he has this like beautiful kind of like agriculture sort of like farm about like a 10-minute walk from the office. So we spent some time there just walking around and showing me like all the different things that they grow.
I think we went to the
Yeah.
office, didn't we, Asha?
Yes, we did.
And with Lawrence as well. We went to the office when Bhavani was still there.
Yeah. There's the elephants around the back.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And then when you go up to the top, like you literally have a view of all of Amir, like it's stunning. You can see the fort and like it's just so much nature. It's beautiful.
Mm.
The way they are working, it shows they are not losing the faith into these traditional skills, arts, craft, and they're really, really serving the local community.
Yeah.
They're not giving up against this marketing world or whatever.
And this is, I like this photo of me in Abhishek. I think it's quite cool.
I love your outfit. I was
Yeah.
admiring it when I was looking at the photos. Is that new, or is that from India?
I bought it last time when I was in India. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The color really suits you.
Thank you. Yeah. Although I bought this scarf this time round
Goes well.
when I met Avni. But yeah, you can
Flick. Sorry, I was admiring the picture and forgetting to flick.
this is just again another photo of like where they grow all the various different vegetables and fruits. And that's my mum.
Oh, she's gone. Sorry. I don't know how to go back.
That's okay.
I can go back. I can't go back.
And then this is, I went to go and visit a Mahatma Gandhi ashram in Gwalior.
Gwalior, yeah.
And yeah, that was a really amazing experience, to be honest. Like I loved it. So I kind of was familiar of the charity just from like working with Action Village India and working for the Gandhi Foundation. And I had there's a charity called Ekta Parashad who like kind of do a lot of work with the rural people and fighting for land rights. And I had lots of conversations with him over the phone. He said, you know, if you're in India again, like you should come and visit and see the work that we're doing. And this time round, I kind of just thought, why not? I'd give it a go and see, go and check it out. So yeah, we stayed there for one night.
Yeah.
It's called like the Jura district. And then they had this like amazing kind of museum which showed like the history of the ashram and when it was set up. So it was set up in like 1972 by a man who you know was like followed like Gandhian philosophy, and there was a lot of like struggle and violence at the time. So yeah, they set it up in response to that. So yeah, lots of like they have like a whole khadi manufacturing thing on site as well, and also with these Amir chakras they also give them to like women so they can spin from their homes as well. So yeah, that was really interesting. And they had a khadi shop as well, so they sold everything. They made it there and then sold it, so it was KVIC registered for khadi. And they had like a whole honeybee project as well. So like lots of women from the local community like looked after the bees, and they made it on site here on the right. And then also they made mustard oil as well, which was quite interesting. And again, just this like kind of like agriculture, like organic gardening as well, which they showed me around. And then this was kind of an unexpected kind of ceremony at the end, which was really special. My mum like actually cried. It was quite emotional.
Oh,
Just because they were so kind and they just looked after us and spent like they were so proud, like showing us all the work. And then at the end they gave us the speech and then obviously welcomed us with the flower garlands and everything. And it just felt really special, just something I won't forget. So
it's a recognition of the work and the dedication.
yeah.
And your interest.
Exactly. I think they were just like the fact that we had come and traveled that far to come and see the work. They really appreciated it. So yeah, it was a special day, definitely. I'm glad I did the journey. It wasn't the easiest to get to, but I'm glad that, you know, that I did it. So
Kishorji, who's the fellow that we were in contact with a couple of years ago from Ekta Parishad?
Ramesh.
Ramesh. So did you meet Ramesh, Morgan?
No,
Right.
I didn't, but he's a person that I've been speaking to a lot
Okay.
on the phone, but I wasn't able to meet him this time.
He wasn't there.
No, unfortunately.
Ramesh is based in Chhattisgarh near Raipur.
I knew that he wouldn't be there, but yeah, we didn't meet this time.
I mean, this is press which was started. There was a whole problem of decades in that area. There was a self-surrender that took place here in 72, 73.
Yeah, there were lots of
And
people with guns, and they managed to get them to surrender. It's like a whole history.
Subara was one of the leading figures in that whole organization.
Yeah.
Is that your last one, Morgan?
I think that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
It's not clicking anymore, so it
That's
must
it, yeah.
stop sharing the screen.
We went from Jaipur because we got a taxi. We went from Jaipur and then we managed to see the Taj Mahal because we were passing through Agra. And then, yeah, and then we went to Madhya Pradesh. So it was
lovely.
it was
Nice
very
Taj Mahal.
fun. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say we all had an amazing trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ready to go back.
It
Yeah.
was amazing. Yeah, it was so much fun to experience it with you guys as well in Delhi.
You didn't tell them what happened to you in Delhi, Morgan.
I have to say, I was quite ill at the beginning of the conference, so I missed about a day of it. But yeah.
Now I'm so housebound. I hardly know what's going around. But you have opened the window and told us that there is so much good work going around us. My mom's generation feels that everything is bad. I believe that there is so much going good around us. It's just we don't know because we are being bombarded by the bad news and what's not right. But when you go to meet people, real people, and see their work being done, it gives us really feel happy.
I think as well, Asha, when bad things seem to happen, the grassroots people, they up their game. Do you know what I mean? They talk more, they communicate more. So it almost fires people into doing things.
This is their reply.
Yes.
Mass production to global market and say, look, this is an alternative. You have a choice.
I was very encouraged by Bharat Tex, how, I've been to many different textile fairs and things, and I'm not saying I agree with the political things going on behind it or anything, and I know that one can be cynical about these things, but it was lovely to see craft and heritage so much at the forefront.
So how is this going to impact Khadi London?
That's a big question. I think a lot of it was building relationships,
collaboration and
deeper, with the people we knew already and new people, and I suppose just continuing forward with the journey that we have already started evolving.
Do you know that I'm very keen on spreading words and educating people? If you choose some slides and start touring some schools, it is worth trying, at least some local schools where you live or nearby, because young children are more receptive and they're open. And when they are being presented, their teachers also get interested. And
the more you can talk about these things,
So,
but I think your workshops idea, Asha, that you've been pushing for a long time, I mean, we definitely want to go forward with those, with the spinning, maybe with some of Verity's work, and other people have contacted us, Amber on the natural dyes. If the more we can get people hands-on with some of these things.
Exactly. When they see their hands can do something, the young 10 to 15 years old children, they're more open and receptive. Even high school, I don't mind. It's worth trying.
Definitely.
I'm really sorry I have to leave, but
Yeah, I think it's
free to continue.
Okay. But before we leave, can I say that now we are settled, and please do come to see us.
Are you going to make me masala chai if I come?
I will.
And Kepler.
And some more.
And pepper and the chutney
Yeah.
and some recipe.
But I'm being serious because now we are settled. I will see you on 27th. Or you tell me the time and I'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll sort out the charkhas, but it'll be nice to just have some informal time. Kishore, Kishore bhai, will you come?
Hmm?
Will you be able to come?
What's the
Are you allowed to come to Kingsley Hall? Will your offspring allowed you to come to Kingsley Hall?
Not Kingsley Hall, but here to our
to
Planning to
your
go
house.
check
Yeah.
to Ashaji's house, yes. But next Thursday, I think we're also planning to go to Kingsley Hall to check the charkhas because we have
all the data.
Because we have the workshop at Garden Museum on the 17th of April. So we just need to make sure that at least four or five charkhas we have in like working condition.
Is someone letting you in? Or do you need
I've got David's number. So I tried to give him a call today, but I didn't hear from him. So I'll try again tomorrow. Like
I'll just stop recording, sorry, 'cause I don't think anyone wants to listen to this.